Hello everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that I think many young people are trapped in, even if they don't realize it themselves. It's the habit of living inside limits that we quietly create in our own minds. Some people haven't truly failed. They've just never dared to step outside their fear. There are thoughts that repeat over and over inside our heads. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Maybe I'm just a weak person. And the scary part is, when we hear those thoughts for too long, we slowly begin to accept them as truth. Then little by little, we stop trying, stop trusting ourselves, stop imagining that we could become something greater. Many people think life is trapping them, but sometimes the cage was built by their own fear. And today, I'm here with someone who spent years living inside that cage. Welcome.
Hi, Owen. Hi, everyone. Honestly, today's topic brings back a version of myself that I used to hate facing. There was a period in my life when I truly believed I was weak. Not physically weak, but the kind of person who was always afraid, always stepping back, and slowly losing all confidence in himself.
What made you become that way?
When I was young, my father always told me, "When you go to school, never fight with anyone." He said he would be very disappointed if I did. And I loved my father very much. I wanted to be a good son. So I listened. But the problem is, when we're young, we don't always understand things in the right way. Over time, thoughts started growing inside my head. I should always stay quiet. I shouldn't fight back. I should just endure everything. At first, it was only a small thought. But the more I repeated it, the more it turned into fear.
I think that's the scary thing about fear. It rarely arrives like a storm. Sometimes it enters your life very quietly, through one sentence, one painful experience, one moment of shame. And before you realize it, it becomes the way you see yourself.
Exactly. I became afraid of conflict, afraid of disappointing people, afraid of being seen as a bad person. And eventually, I became someone who tolerated everything. At the time, I thought I was being kind. But honestly, I was just afraid.
I think many young people are like that too. Not in physical fights, but emotionally. Not daring to say no. Not daring to speak up. Not daring to protect themselves. Always trying to make everyone happy. Always afraid of upsetting someone.
And when you stay silent for too long, people begin to think they can treat you however they want. Some people at school realized that I would never fight back, so they started picking on me. At first, it was teasing. Then, slowly, they took my things, pushed me around, embarrassed me in front of others. And the hardest part was, some of them were even smaller than me. Deep inside, I knew I could defend myself. I wasn't physically weak at all, but I couldn't do it. Not because I lacked strength, but because I had spent too many years believing I was weak.
I think that feeling is incredibly painful. When a part of you knows you could do something, but fear completely controls your body. It's like being trapped inside yourself.
Exactly. And the worst part was, I started hating myself. There were days when I would go into the bathroom and cry alone. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, why am I like this? Why can't I stand up for myself? Why do I keep letting people walk over me? I felt worthless.
Did you ever tell anyone?
I did. I told my teacher once. But after that, things became even worse. They hated me even more. That was when I started believing something very dangerous. Maybe this is who I really am. Maybe I'm just a weak person.
And I think that's what traps many people for years. Not because they're truly weak, but because they slowly turned fear into identity.
Then one day, something happened that I still remember very clearly. I had been bullied again. Afterward, I was sitting alone behind the classroom crying. I was around 14 years old. I remember feeling completely defeated, tired of always being the weak one, tired of always being afraid, tired of asking myself, why is it always me? Then a girl walked up to me. She looked at me for a few seconds and asked, why do you keep letting this happen? I didn't answer. Then she said, why are you making yourself into someone so easy to hurt?
That must have hit incredibly hard.
It really did. Especially because I was a teenage boy. Hearing a girl say that to me, I felt deeply ashamed. But strangely, that was also the first moment I truly faced myself. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her words in my head. And then I realized something terrifying. The people hurting me were not the only reason I was suffering. I was helping them do it. Every single time I chose silence.
I think many people need to hear this. The door was never actually locked. We just lived in fear for so long that we stopped trying to push it open.
Exactly. For the first time in my life, I realized no one was truly trapping me. My fear was the real prison. I had repeated thoughts like, don't fight back. Stay quiet. Just accept it. So many times that they became my reality.
Fear repeated long enough eventually becomes identity.
After that day, I slowly started changing. For the first time in my life, I started saying no. I started looking people in the eye. I started speaking more clearly. I started standing up for myself. And the thing that surprised me the most was this. When I changed the way I saw myself, other people started treating me differently too.
I think many people don't realize this. The way we treat ourselves often teaches others how to treat us.
Exactly. If you live in fear all the time, people can feel it. But when you begin respecting yourself, things start changing. And I also realized something important. Being strong doesn't mean being aggressive. Being strong means having the courage to face the fear that controlled you for too long.
I think many people are living inside invisible cages like that.
Definitely. Some people trap themselves inside thoughts like, I'm not smart enough. I'm bad at English. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not talented. I'll never succeed. And they repeat those thoughts every day, until the mind accepts them as truth.
Even though they may never have truly tested themselves.
Exactly. Some people fail once, and turn that failure into identity. One mistake while speaking English. I'm terrible at languages. One rejection. I'm not good enough. That's how invisible limits are created.
And honestly, I think social media makes all of this much heavier.
Definitely. Every single day we see people becoming more successful, making more money, speaking better English, looking more confident, living what seems like a perfect life. And slowly, we start feeling smaller.
Especially when we already feel lost inside.
Exactly. When you're struggling, other people's success doesn't always inspire you. Sometimes it makes you feel hopeless. Like, maybe I'll never become like them. But what we don't see is this. Everyone has moments of fear. Everyone has moments of insecurity. Everyone has doubted themselves before.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from all of this?
That I was never as weak as I thought I was. I had just lived in fear for too long. And honestly, I think many people are the same. They are far stronger than they realize. They just haven't stepped outside the cage in their mind yet.
Maybe the hardest battle in life isn't fighting against the world. Maybe it's fighting against the negative story you've been telling yourself for years.
Exactly. And the saddest thing isn't failure. The saddest thing is spending your whole life without ever discovering who you could have become.
If you could say one thing to people who are holding themselves back, what would it be?
Don't decide too early who you are. Don't label yourself as weak. Don't trap yourself inside old beliefs. Maybe you're not lacking strength. Maybe you've simply lived in fear for too long. And sometimes, all it takes is one small step outside that fear to realize how capable you truly are.
I love that.
Because the truth is, sometimes the biggest limits in our lives are the ones we quietly create ourselves.
Thank you so much for sharing your story today. I truly believe many people will see themselves in this conversation.
I hope so too.
And thank you everyone for listening. If you're also trying to step outside the cage you created for yourself, I hope you remember this. Maybe the door was never locked. You were just afraid to walk through it for too long. See you all in the next episode.